Hi, this is Karen, Grandmother Dances in the Night Sky. This is the second video of the Great Teachers. If you didn't catch the first one, go back and get the first one first so you can go through the first 10. And now we're going to go from 11 to 20. So this is the second of the Great Teachers. Here we go. Number 11. Number 11 of the Great Teachers is raw power. Raw power. What is raw power? Owning your power. And now, how often are you told you can't have your power, you're giving your power away, that sort of thing? Well, raw power is owning that power. But what is raw power also? And for me, it was the wind. So when I wrote down to me different things, like I made a whole list of things that happened to represent raw power to me, and the wind was one of them. But it was interesting. I had a lot of the same things on rage as I did on raw power. And then I thought, is rage negative and raw power positive? And then the more I looked into it, no, it isn't. It's a slightly different energy, but similar, but a little bit different. So, but that's for me. And again, each person is going to have their own perception of what this is going to look like for you. So, really, really tap into what is raw power for you. Is that strength in doing something that you didn't think you could do? What is it for you? And really, really tap into that. Do that exploration. Talk with other people. Get a group of people together and go through the great teachers and say, hey, let's have a discussion of what is this great teacher and find out other people's view. You will be amazed how the different perspectives that every person gives. I guarantee you 20 people will not all agree on the same thing on any of these great teachers because we are all looking at it through our own lens. And what we need to get out of these teachings, what we chose to write in our book of life, because every one of these great teachers we wrote in our book of life. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. So, anyway, now number 12. Number 12 is spirit. What is spirit to you? Well, spirit can be God, spirit can be Buddha, spirit can be your power animals, spirit can be angels, spirit can be your guides, anything you perceive spirit to be. For me, I always talk about spirit. And when I say that, I just mean the collective, beautiful energy that's up there. And I wrap them all up together. It's that inner knowing, that touch from another reality as it's coming in and speaking to me. That's where I get my downloads. And I don't get my downloads from one being all the time. Sometimes I'll get it from a power animal. Sometimes I'll get it from an angel. Sometimes it doesn't matter, from my spirit guides, from my ancestors. I get different downloads from different energetics, but it is all spirit to me. And I wrap it all up in the same cosmos. But what about you? Because there's, again, no right or no wrong. It's whatever's right for you. So tap into that energy. What is spirit to you? And our relationship to spirit is part of the great teachers. So how is it that you tap into your spirits? And number 13 is death. Well, death and conclusion, death and rebirth, the ending of something, the beginning of something new. It can be the actual act of dying as well. It can be in any aspect of ending, and any aspect of beginnings can be death. What is death to you? Are you afraid to die? We all die. We all come into this beautiful world, and we all, that's the one common denominator that we all have. We will all eventually leave this earthly plane to go where we came from. So that is death. And if you're afraid of death, maybe reach out to me. I am a death walker, and I'd be happy to talk to you about my perception. And I'm going to say this, my perception of what death is, and how I can maybe take you on a journey to experience your last breath in your last lifetime. So maybe you aren't quite so afraid of the process of dying, because that process is actually quite beautiful when we take that last breath and move into the next realm. But we don't want to invite death in. We want to live this life as full as we can, celebrate this life. And when our time has come, then we go and then we celebrate that as well. And celebrating the death. Also, number 14 coming up here is fear. It's the one thing that'll stop me in my tracks instantly. If I'm afraid to move into something, or something is in front of me and I go, oh, I can't do it, and I'm afraid of it, then I freeze. I literally don't go forwards. I don't go backwards. I just freeze in motion. I'm done. I can't move any direction. I'm like a deer stuck in a headlight. I cannot move. That is fear for me. What's fear for you? I know some people that when they hit that fear, that's their adrenaline hit. They love that feeling of fear because that feeling of fear gives them a drive and a sense to move forward and explore. Other people get that and they're going, I'm not even going to tap into that. I'm hiding in the background because I don't want to do anything that makes me afraid of anything. And that's okay too. Just to understand your relationship with fear and use fear as your ally. Get to know fear, get to understand it, and then move forward with fear in a different type of relationship than being afraid of fear. It's celebrating it and using it literally as your ally. And now we're going to go into the next one, 16, or sorry, 15. 15 is defeat. You ever felt that urge? I'm just done. I'm just done. I've tried everything I can try and I'm done. I feel alone. I feel that nothing I do is going to work. That is that defeat, the hopelessness, the lack of magic, the lack of belief, the lack of flow. When we are sitting in that defeat, and it can be called depression as well, but when we're sitting in that, the best thing to do is lay down on Mother Earth and literally cry. Tell her all your fears, tell her what's going on, allow her to take that energy, that defeat, and allow it to go. Find an ally, a person that can help you, that can hear you without trying to fix you, can hear you and let you just get it off your chest. Because once we give sound to what is we're afraid of and what is our defeat, then we break the chain that of bonding that it has on us, the control it has on us, and we can literally pull ourselves out of that. But we need somebody that can support us without judgment. And we need to be able to hear others too without judgment. Because every one of us, that's the one, I think there's not a person in the world that doesn't experience defeat, each in their unique way, but trusting that when you are feeling that, there is a better day tomorrow. And there might be a better time 5 minutes from now. So just keep working through it and get through it. One more time, take a deep breath. This is where breath work happens. This is where taking deep breaths in and deep breaths out, deep breaths in and deep breaths out, and allowing Mother Earth, Mother Nature to help you and bring in and ask all your spirits, as in the other stone back there, is the spirits of bringing in all those spirits and allowing those spirits to be your support system. Defeat is fleeting if you let it go. It's a hard one to step into. Number 16 is another one that's right up there. This is loneliness. It's different than being alone. Alone means I'm quite happy being alone. I don't need other people. I'm just I just enjoy my own company and I'm tooling along. But loneliness, you can be in a crowd and be absolutely lonely. I'm lonely for, what are you lonely for? If you're sitting in loneliness, hug yourself and give yourself a rock and tell yourself how beautiful you are, how wonderful you are, and be your own best friend. Loneliness can be really, really hard to get out of, but know that we have the ability to get out of loneliness. And now we're going to tap into need, number 17. It's really dark on there, but you can see it. Number 17 of need. What do you need? There's a difference between need and want. What do I need to be happy? What do I need to live? Well, for me, I need air. I need food. I need shelter. I need security and I need freedom. Those are my primary things. Then I want a nice house. I want a vehicle. I want animals, but those aren't my needs, my absolutely primal needs. And then I have needs on different levels. Same thing with wants. Wants I have on different levels. And then what do I need? What do I want? And again, each person's different. So when you say to somebody, what do you need? And they're telling you what they need, and that's one of your wants, not a need, you may not take them seriously or even ask them, is this something you need or is this something you want? And talk about what the differences are and what the differences are to them as well as to you. Need is a big one, and understand what you need versus what you want. The next one is seeking. Oh, I love the seekers. The seekers are the people that I want a little bit of information here. I want a little bit of information there. I want a little bit of information there. I don't want to master anything, but I want as much knowledge from all different directions that I can gather. I want to experience as many different things as I possibly can. I want to seek out all these different adventures. I want to try camping. I want to try mountain climbing. I want to try skydiving. I want to do all these things. I want It's my time on earth here, and I'm going to get as much into this lifetime as I can. I'm seeking, constantly looking for that next challenge, looking for that next answer. And the next one is 19 of love. Loving yourself, loving others, loving nature, loving where you are. And can you love? Because love really trumps everything. If we can sit in pure love of each other, then we can't judge quite so harshly on people, can't judge so harshly on ourselves. If I really love myself and I do something that's a real major bad thing, if I love myself, I'm going to cut myself some slack. If I love someone else, I'm going to cut them some slack. I'm going to let them experience what they need to experience, but I'm going to stand back and I'm just going to send them all the love in the world. Love can be overrated too. So for a while there, everyone you talk to, I love you, I love you. Pretty soon the words stopped having impact. So I don't say it often, but when I say I love you, I really do mean it. I mean from my heart. I accept you for who you are, how you are, and I'm not trying to change you for any other reason, but that's what I perceive love as. What do you perceive love as? That's the important thing, because all these teachers are based on what you perceive. And number 20 is the last one, and this is patience. Having patience for yourself, patience for others. We can't speed this process up. I've had people take some of my courses and say, at what point am I going to be healed? Well, I'm sad to tell you, I don't think we ever are 100%. It depends on how many layers you want to go down. And you can't, and I tried this, trust me, I tried this. I was trying to forgive myself for an act that I did when I was 8, literally 8 years old. I'm well into my late 50s at this point, and I still couldn't get over forgiving myself for a thing that I had done. And I would tell myself, I forgive myself every morning. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I was doing it constantly, and I'm going, but why? Deep inside, I'm not forgiving myself. What can I do to make it happen? Well, you know what? I couldn't make it happen. It had to happen in its own time. And then all of a sudden, I was working with a horse, and I saw the reflection of my reflection in this horse's eyes. And I said, I just want to say I'm so sorry for. And then I said what I was sorry for. And then I could hear the horse's answer back in return. It was, you had nothing to be sorry for. You were 8 years old. And it went, what? And all of a sudden it just went away. I felt the burden of it, the whole energetic of it just leave my body. And I went, finally, I'm free of it. I couldn't have made that happen for nothing. And I tried, but when I had patience to sit in the flow of it and take advantage of the moment of letting it go, it just let go. It goes the same thing with whatever we're working on. And I get people here too looking for, I want that power animal. I want to see that power animal. And the harder they fight to get that power animal, the harder it is for them to receive it. When they just surrender and go into the flow, they find their power animal. So it's knowing that we have to have patience. Spirit works on its own time, and we sadly cannot force it. And even with grief, there is no timeline on grief. Grief can happen in a cycle and it'll look like everything's going great. And then we spin around 20 steps backwards and we're even worse than we were when we first started grieving. And that's okay. Allow that grief cycle to work this way and then spin around the other way and then work this way again, because that's part of life. That's that cycle of natural law, that spin cycle, if you will, of death and rebirth, and allowing ourselves that grieving process to allow things to end and allow new things to begin on their own time. We can't push it. So that is the 20 great teachers. I hope you've enjoyed them. Listen to them as often as you can. And if you have any questions about them, please, by all means, reach out, make a comment in the section, maybe get a conversation go with others. What do you think of this word? Or what do you think of that word? And get some conversations going. And enjoy your day. Enjoy these teachings. And this is Karen, Grandmother Dances in the Night Skies. Like, subscribe, do all that kind of good stuff, and share. And let's build a community together. We're stronger. Take care. Aho.